All right, good morning, cyber traders, and welcome on back here on a brand new week, I should say, brand new Monday, August 30th, almost the end, almost brand new month, rather. But great to see all of us live inside the Cyber Group room, and if you're joining us on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back. So, with that in mind to begin, I want to talk about this GSAT trade, GSAT, pushing up really nicely. I don't really drop the E word too often, and it's not a curse word, but E is an easy, and I don't really drop that word too often. But right before I started the meeting, I said, GSAT, easy peasy. We'll cover this trade here coming up very shortly from now. But I really want to begin by going back to Friday, right? We ended up doing really well, exceptionally well on Friday. And not just me, we as in and a lot of our traders inside Cyber Group, and we as in not just one particular stock, but a group of stocks. If it wasn't one, it was another. It was like a gold mine, so to say. So we had a really good day on Friday. Hopefully that transitions into this week. But let's begin by going back on those stocks there. To begin, what was it, the BBIG trade that really stole the show across the whole day, and especially heading into the close. Obviously, top percent gainer this morning, number 2 right now. So again, we'll get to this, the pre-market move this morning in just a moment. But heading into more like the late morning, the early afternoon, the stock was pushing up, really from the get-go. But it was right around like 11:30, 12 o'clock. This stock started to really accelerate higher and ended up breaking above resistance at 4. And once it rebroke it, I should say, ended up making that like bigger move. So pushed up really swiftly all the way up towards just about 5. Ended up starting to shake around from there, and then really ended up beginning to push up more and more across the rest of the day. Now, if you happen to see what happened after the market closed, we talked about this. We had said that there's a pretty good chance that we'll happen to see some continuation on a couple of these trades just based on how they were trending heading into the final hour of the afternoon. So this BBIG was one of them. It took a little while in the after hours. It wasn't like right away at 4 o'clock, but more so after 5 o'clock. Ended up re-breaking resistance and man, we don't really look to stay around, going into a weekend, right? Like we've had enough, at least across the whole week to deal with here in the stock market. So we'd rather just take a break, enjoy time with family, just enjoy life otherwise. So, hey, if you were here at your desk and making it a late day in the stock market, it ended up benefiting you really well, ended up popping above resistance off of 6 and ran up really nicely. So, that leads us to today, where the stock is up just about 60% right now. It was up a lot more a moment ago, but ended up diving off heading into the pre-market, prior to 8 a.m. Now, right now, this stock is making a bit of a slingshot off of 8, pushing up pretty nicely, at least, going into 9 o'clock and after. So for right now, definitely we'll put this on our main list. How could I not, right? BBIG. I didn't really prep this stock yet, the chart on my main trading platform. The one stock I was really more interested in trading going into this morning so far was the GSAT. And again, I'll get to that in just a moment. The ATER was another one. This one didn't really make the watch list from the afternoon nor the morning, but it was one that ended up making a very nice pop. And, in the afternoon, I said that, hey, if there's a stock that can pop up higher into the close, perhaps that can make, the move up higher, just like we saw in BBIG. This stock ended up failing to do so, but like right after 3 o'clock, you could see it at least. It ended up making this huge move up first, but ended up making this big spike. It got us all excited, and then unfortunately came back down. So, this one, again, we don't look to try and swing trade these call outs, but it's to say, obviously, this one pushing up much higher this morning, much like the BBIG. I don't know if they're related. The only thing that I have here, and this was more in relation to MRIN, but a lot of these, like, I don't know if they're media companies, but making a big push off of Powell's speech, I think from Friday. But yeah, ATER, I'm even checking Benzinga Pro on my other monitor here. There's no like company specific news out there. I think it's in relation to a certain sector, but either way, ATER right now, right in our face here, live, popping up really quickly, off of 9, breaking over 950. It's like practically the same move as BBIG. Let me just take a look. Jump right back. Is that breaking higher? Yeah, I mean, for the most part, still going. Notice the drop off right prior to 9 a.m. and then the squeeze right back up. They got to be trading, within the same sector, same business, so to say. We didn't really, confirm that on Friday, but it's to say now, certainly. Either way, the ATER trade, we'll put this back on our watch list heading into the market open. Right, notice right now, actually, right off this pop, you happen to see it. A couple of iceberg orders just showed on the level 3. 970, there was one right here, but also 975, the bigger one that you could still see. That's through the NASDAQ. Oh, and he's getting filled. There we go. Notice the green on the time and sales. That goes to show the confirmed order was filled off the ask. So that's what we look for to see a stock continue to push up. Doesn't guarantee the push up right now, but if we happen to see more and more buying coming in off that 975, it wouldn't be a matter of if, it would be a matter of when, in our opinion. So, keep that in mind heading into the open. That 975 will be a really strong price level to watch. So, yeah, ATER we'll put back on our list here too. All right, so those two were even moving from Friday. We had the NNA stock, right? That was more of a maritime stock, and that came off of company news. Ended up making a nice pop in pre-market at first, and I thought it was going to fizzle out, kind of early on. But man, this ended up continuing to push up, leading into the early parts of the afternoon here, shortly after 1 p.m. Eastern time. Ended up re-breaking above resistance off of 310. Ended up making a really nice run from there. So yeah, this NNA trade was just another one from Friday's trading that we did really well on. You could see heading into the final hour of the day, this was our big winner. Didn't really continue as much in the after hours like the others. I don't think those are as related to this. Like I said, this stock was more off of company specific news, but either way, for right now, this stock heading into the open, it's still near those highs. It hasn't dumped off just yet. I'll come back to this perhaps at the end. If we have like kind of a smaller list, I mean, those two to begin were pretty good, but if we have a pretty small list at the end of it all, I don't mind jumping back to this one. It's good side list material. All right, so I made the same damn mistake as I made, I think, back from Wednesday, where I ended up just drinking all coffee throughout the pre-market. I was a little tired this morning, so I got my water bottle here, but little dry in the mouth here. So let's try and make this quick and easy, so you folks don't have to deal with me here. All right, let's go right from top to bottom for any of the other stocks that we ended up trading or calling out from Friday. Then we'll look to recap them very quickly, mind you, but I don't want to have you folks deal with my voice here across the next 15 minutes. So let's make this quick and easy. GSAT, we didn't talk about this really. I mean, I showed it on the screen to begin, but this stock ended up making an exceptional run itself here heading into the pre-market. So let me just jump to Benzinga Pro. What I will do here very quickly is just recite the news. It's the one stock I'll recite the news on here this morning. But GSAT, Global Star shares trading higher following a note sent out by an Apple analyst suggesting Apple could partner with Global Star on bringing low Earth orbit satellite communications functionality in the iPhone 13. Doesn't sound like I have dry mouth, but trust me, I do. But either way, GSAT here making a really nice breakout off of 2 after 8 a.m. Eastern time here. We always talk about it. You have to be prepped and ready at 8 a.m. You can't really get to your desk just at 8 a.m. because that's when the pre-market traditionally opens for, all brokers out there. There are some that open up earlier, mind you. And I know a couple of us did pretty well on, a few trades this morning prior to 8 o'clock. But hey, once this re-broke above resistance off of $2 after 8, that was it. Ended up making, as easy of a move as possible. And I don't drop that word too often, like I had said, but, based on the trend, based on the liquidity here, this stock had, a very consistent penny spread, very liquid orders here, or very liquid price levels, I should say. So nonetheless, it wasn't, super volatile. It wasn't like the ATER that popped and dropped at first and then ran, or BBIG that was moving a lot faster per minute. Slow and steady can win the race at times, folks. So, GSAT ended up making a really nice move altogether. Did anyone end up getting in this trade in pre-market inside the Cyber Group room? Let me know. I know a couple of us did like early on, posted like a quick 5 or 6 cent profit. But did anyone hold on throughout this trend here in the pre-market? I know Brian just got a nice profit on BBIG. Perhaps we'll jump back to that in just a second. But let me know if anyone caught some money on the GSAT trade in pre-market to begin. You can't use stops, right? So that's the danger, so to say. And, that really is a danger. But here on this exact trade, just given the trend and how tight the spread was, how filled in the order book was altogether, this was the perfect type of stock to test yourself in pre-market, right? All right, so Brian said only got 12 cents on the GSAT. Yeah, but you were doing pretty well on BBIG. So you were juggling a couple things around, man, this morning. You had a great pre-market altogether. Kathleen did on a small position. Michael got 9 cents, and I wanted to jump over Martha, who first had posted, and I want to give her a shout out. She got 50 cents. Excellent catch from Martha. 50-cent profit, 50 cents per share, that is. So, hey, for a cheap stock like this, you could perhaps trade more shares, or at least trade your full-size position and make it worth it, right? So 50 cents, even on 100 shares, that's a solid profit. But obviously, with more shares, that's, your real day's pay in just one trade. All right, Deb, and that reminds me, I got to give you a quick shout later on today as well, right? So Deb did pretty well. Deb got about 15 cents and 19 cents so far, and she's still in on this next position that she has. Excellent. All right. So let's hope this keeps going before the market opens up even. But yeah, GSAT we'll put on our list here with the BBIG and the ATER so far. All right, so let's go back to BBIG. I saw Brian get about 70 cents on his trade just now. He was in from $8.30. Whew, nice catch. It looked like that was a bit of a support before it broke. And then once it broke through that level again on the way up, again, I don't like dropping the E word, so I'm not here at least. But, really big profit from Brian so far on this. And Root also, he's saying. So, yeah, a lot of opportunity so far this morning for a Monday, right? For, the dog days of summer, late August still at this point, the week before Labor Day. You expect crap out there. You honestly expect crap. So, hey, if you're more hesitant to trade for that reason, that's no problem. As long as you're not losing money that's already in your account, right? That's the bigger focus. But obviously, just with a lot of stocks moving, there's a lot of opportunity, right? Just from Friday. All right, so let's skip over what else we got here. The ATER is already on our list. AFRM, nice little pop up here, but little not as in the price, but as in the pop. Yeah, pretty pricey here for right now, the AFRM. So we'll skip over this for right now. And I'd say the same on SPRT. I hate to be I hate to be negative here, but this stock is just going to be more of a distraction than anything. If you made money on this stock over the last day, you know who you are. So, hey, if you want to trade it, do it at your discretion. But for the 95% of us or 90% of us live inside the Cyber Group room, I'd rather you trade the BBIGs even, or obviously the GSATs or the MMATs, another stock from Friday, right? So, this was on our morning watch list. This was on the afternoon watch list that we had from from Friday. Just zoom back out on the chart here just to show. All right, so another pop right after the market opened up, and this is more of a familiar name, MMAT, Meta Materials, formerly known as Torchlight. TRCH was the symbol back in a few months ago when we traded it. So ended up making a big push from 350 all the way up to basically 395-ish. And once it popped the top, that's what allowed it to keep pushing up higher for another 55, 60 cents. So really nice move altogether, right? In the afternoon it dumped off. That was expected. So we had it on our list, hopeful for the pop back up, but we didn't get it. But either way, great trade from Friday. Obviously now pushing up higher, up another 22+%. Pushing over 5. So yeah, why not? Whoa, Brian, you kidding me? Brian already said here in the trading room. I mean, hey, it doesn't happen every day, right? I said it back from Friday. It was one of my top 5 best days ever. Unfortunately, I didn't break my record. I actually lost a little profit, but it was still within my top 10 by the end of the market day. Brian already made his week's pay. This morning on a, normally and otherwise what would be known as a crappy Monday morning here in the Cyber Group room. Wipe the hands clean. Brian, I would take the rest of the day off, man. Take the next day off after that, too. Make sure that you don't even lose a penny of that profit. If you already hit your week's pay, man, that's it. I honestly would just say that's it. I know that you might be, looking to stay for another round or so, much like I perhaps would. But, I would just lock it up. I learned my lesson Friday afternoon. I lost some of that profit. So it comes from a little experience there, but congratulations, of course. MMAT definitely will put on our list. Brian made some money on the Root trade this morning. That was one of his stocks. One of the stocks that we had on the pre-market watch list also, mind you. So, this ended up making a bit of a pop. It wasn't off of news. I noted that. So, there was some news that came out on this stock with potential partnership with Carvana. That was back from, mid this month. Not really as direct to this pop this morning. It was more based off of seeing this stock appear on Reddit and Wall Street Bets. So, with that in mind, ended up making a nice squeeze at first, popped over 750, moved up to practically 850 and above, but dumped off right away after. So unfortunately, as good as this looked in pre-market, and it could still be, really tradable after the market opens up, direction of this stock is leading down heading into the open. So, hey, I guess I'll put it on our list. It's not going to be on the top of our watch list. I like the MMAT, more, the GSAT more. See what else we got. More. BLIN, I know this was called out by Norman inside the trading room early on. Great call out at the time. Unfortunately, the wheels fell off this thing too. So, I'm not as particular about this as well. MQ, I don't know what's going on here. All right, familiar name, IDEX, at least, familiar name across the many months and, years past here. Stock had popped up going back into June, July of last year, popped going back into, November, perhaps December of last year and ran up. So, we're familiar with it on and off. We've traded the stock, and much like actually the GSAT trade, it has a tight spread and, a very liquid order book and obviously pretty cheap, much like that GSAT as well, and practically at the same price. So yeah, I'll put this on our list too. I don't know what the news is on this stock. I'll just check it out pretty quick. Said GSAT was the only one I'd do that for, but let's just see. Trading higher after the company announced it will acquire VIA Motors, valued at up to $630 million. I didn't know if there was a decimal point in between there. $630 million buyout. I mean, they purchased another company, that is. So, it's not as if this is the company that got bought out. So perhaps we'll happen to see this make a further move once the market opens. I'll keep it on our list. A little slow. It might not make the move that we're looking for it to make. I'd rather focus on the GSAT first. All right, let's see what else we got here. JFIN, another mover from Friday, right? You can see probably more on the 5-minute chart. Oh no, I lied. That was from that was back from, what was that, Thursday last week? I think it was, oh no, I think it was back on Friday. Let me just double check. You'll see on the 5-minute chart here as I go through. Yeah, we ended up seeing this stock make a bit of a squeeze back up here from like 450 all the way up to 5, dump back down the following, or at least that afternoon. So at least, very tradable stock and one that we're familiar with, just crappy chart here in pre-market. For the 524,000 shares that was trading here, I thought there was going to be a lot more activity on this chart pre-market wise, but not really the case. All right, so a TAOP pop up on my Benzinga Pro news feed. I don't know if there's any news in relation to that. That, like I'd said from, I think Friday, that was more an NFT play, China stock and NFT related, the digital art, so much like the, what was it, the TCAT stock from last week. This stock looks like news just came out on this. Looks like they signed a $4 million mining cards purchase agreement for Ethereum mining, not Bitcoin mining. Either way, pretty interesting news. And then that does relate more to the NFT market because NFTs are more based on the Ethereum blockchain. So yeah, this could make a nice squeeze once the market opens. A little pop and drop so far, but let's see what else we got. It's already 9:18. I'm kind of taking my sweet time. I said I wouldn't here. So let's see what else we got. We'll kind of make it quick and see if there's anything else moving up, down, left, right, more than 5%. Folks from the trading room or from YouTube or Facebook Live, if you're joining us on social today, let me know if there's anything else that you would want me to call out, anything that you can type in the chat board here. BLIN's getting a pop right now. Actually, I'm seeing that myself on Benzinga Pro. So, perhaps I do slip that on our list now at this point. I was showing really kind of a spotty chart at first, but nice pop on this one, actually. Wow, big pop. All right, cool. So we'll add this to our list for right now, the BLIN. Question from one of our members, Ali, is the far right column the Matrix, the level 3 book? Yes, it is. And I know Michael answered that just now. I appreciate that, Mike. Yep. And hey, for all of our new trial members in our trading room, perhaps like Ali, but otherwise I see Shiva, Michael B, and David, and Willem, and Andy J, and I'm sure others joining us live right now after the meeting started. Folks, make sure that you talk to your education advisor here. They're kind of the middleman between yourself and me, yourself and Fausto, who normally does this morning meeting, mind you. He'll be back tomorrow. But obviously, you know, to have any specific trading related questions answered, they're the best person to contact. So make sure that you talk to your education advisor. If you haven't already booked an appointment time with them, just call our office to do so. All right. So BLIN, I kind of jumped to here fast. I was going to hop over to the losers list as you folks look to type any other stocks in the chat board out to me. So let's see what else we got. The ASTR. We'll jump back to Benzinga Pro at the end. So, you know, that one was worth it. The BLIN trade there. ASTR down big. Looks like they got beat up even Friday afternoon. I got to refill up on water after this. All right, so Astra Space, ASTR shares trading lower after the company announced its LV0006 launch vehicle failed to properly launch. So, you know, that's simple enough news to, you know, expect a big drop off, expect a big, no pun intended, please, I don't mean it, crash, right, in the stock. Ended up dropping off from 12 all the way down to 10. Then this morning dropped off, gap down lower. So, you know what, hey, it catches my interest. It's down 21+%. There you go. I got someone to laugh in the trading room there. All right. So for the meantime, we'll put ASTR on our list. I'm interested in it, but yeah, again, for right now, like to top off the list, it's BBIG, it's BLIN there, that pop that we last caught, the GSAT trade, MMAT. You know, those are the stocks I'm much more interested in still, and those I'll be more jumpy to trade. But you know, I'm gonna keep an eye on this either way to see where it breaks up or down. We'll find out. All right. I see a bunch of expensive stocks otherwise on the loser side. $85 NTES, Sava, Billy. That's all I got, folks. I mean, really, I mean, I don't mean to sound lazy here, but everything else looks just expensive. That's easy to borrow. And if it's, you know, otherwise, you know, down, it's not down enough like the ASTR to capture my interest. All right. So if BLIN was popping, you know what? Your first assumption is when BLIN pops, that MRIN pops. And at first, that wasn't the case. So now it looks like we're getting that squeeze up for right now. Norman, who had called that out. You know, it ended up moving from Friday, another mover from Friday, right? I failed to, you know, go over this at least before, but it ended up making a hell of a pop, and I caught some money on this at least. But yeah, you know what? I guess if we put one on the list, it's hard to not put the other on, given our experience with both. We've done really well on both at the same time, you know, over the last, you know, few months. All right, folks, I think that's just about it from me. I don't really see much A on Benzinga Pro, and I don't see much on B YouTube either. I think that just about wraps it up. You got Fausto back in the saddle tomorrow, at least. So if you're sick and tired of hearing my voice, trust me, you're back into the normal groove at least tomorrow with Fausto taking over the morning meeting again. I say that sarcastically, though. All right, folks. But otherwise, hey, if you are interested in continuing the audio commentary and joining us live inside our trading room on YouTube or Facebook Live, make sure to join us live inside our trading room by going right down to the link on the banner below just to get yourself started on a small week-long trial. But for all of us there, otherwise, our trial members and longtime students, I look forward to speaking to you folks coming up very shortly. I'm going to refill up the water bottle, of course. But otherwise, at 9 a.m. Eastern time, we will resume the audio. All right, I'll talk to you soon.